So, you guys who've been watching me for a while might recall numerous occasions where I have argued that I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, 100% unequivocally, I believe Trump is a pedophile. And people are like, well, I mean, duh, he's super creepy about underage girls, and he's done that publicly many times. There are countless public, available examples of this. I mean, even his own daughters. But I mean to say that, no, I believe he's full-on raped underage girls. And the reason why I believe this is something that a lot of people weren't aware of. It's the fact that years ago, back in 2016, when Donald Trump was famously accused of rape by a woman who claims to have been 13 years old when the crime would have been committed, making Trump absolutely a child rapist, when this came out, back in 2016, it was largely written off as a smear attack. The person pressing charges, the woman pressing charges, of course, was anonymous. And she ended up getting bullied into dropping the charges. But looking back at it, mind you, this is in 2016. Looking back at it, it wasn't just Trump who she accused. She accused someone else of having taken part in molesting her when she was underage. Mind you, this is well before the Epstein thing was huge, and that person was Epstein. Back in 2016, Trump and Epstein were getting allegations of pedophilia. And then Trump's fans were screaming those women into silence. Since I learned about that, which has been a few years now, but it's been a while since that happened, I have been quite sure that Trump is a full-on child rapist. And when I'd argue this, people were like, yeah. But it got a surprisingly small amount of attention. But now, it seems something new has come out that has rekindled people's realization of the fact that, well, holy shit, Trump might actually be a full-on pedophile. A lot of people have been talking about this, but very little mainstream news has been talking about it. There was a new testimony released from the grand jury on the Epstein case, and a bunch of this stuff implicates Trump in some pretty bad stuff. From what I heard, I had some of it described to me by a friend who had read it, and this is a friend who is not very into politics. He's like left-leaning, but like not super into politics. And he was like, this is fucking enraging to read. Like, he was mad about, like, pissed at Trump reading it because it was so disgusting, apparently. So, like, I don't know if they're gonna go into detail here or what, but apparently it's, like, explicit and bad.
And pages of sealed documents made public today related to a 2006 grand jury investigation into Jeffrey Epstein.
2006, okay. So we're going back well over 10 years ago here. This happened a while ago. Not, like, the trial where this, like, leaked from happened a while ago. This is before any presidential bids were on the table. So, before anybody thinks this could have possibly been influenced by wanting to take down Trump.
Those documents have been kept sealed for nearly 2 decades. Our Ethan Stein has been combing through those documents, and he joins us now with the details.
So it's close to 200 new release documents today. I read through it, and it's a tough read. It's really hard to go through. You really feel your emotion for these girls, most of which were underage when these incidents took place and are underage while they're being interviewed. It's tough because the prosecutors come off like defense attorneys as well, attacking these victims' character. It also shows prosecutors had evidence of Epstein raping.
Yeah, you got to remember, I mean, like, especially going back, like, 10 plus years ago, Chuds may complain about how, like, men who are accused of this stuff are always assumed guilty before innocent, but no, that's usually not the case in the court of law going back, I mean, even today, but especially going back 10 plus years ago. Like, taking your rapist to trial will be one of the most difficult and traumatizing experiences of your life next to said rape. They don't make it easy. They don't make it easy. You'll have as much scrutiny put on you and your story as the victim as the presumed, or non-presumed, I should say, but as the accused is. And it's going to be rough when you're the actual victim. So, and these were kids back then, by the way. These were kids. And mind you, the entire, this factor is multiplied when we're talking about powerful, influential, at the time beloved, rich white men, okay?
An underage girl, but those charges were never brought. Within the depth of 200 pages, there's page 129. The last time I went there, he engaged in intercourse. How old were you then? It was the day before my 18th birthday.
How many children they
Oh, okay, well, that's just pretty explicit.
could have saved if they just would have done the right thing.
Brad Edwards represents.
Are you ready for the chuds to come in with the Dr. Disrespect defense of like, oh, well, what's the big deal if she was 17? And ignore the fact that there are like several accusers and several of them were like just very young. Like they just pedo post. Conservatives will pedo post to defend their favorite guy. You know, they'll be like, well, she was just 17. That's what they've done with Dr. Disrespect. It's like, okay, even if she is 17, he was like 40. That is definitely pedophilic in every universe that's pedophilic. And on top of that, we have no confirmation of the age. So they're just making it up. Like they hear a guy that they like is a pedophile and they filled in the blank of of the minor being 17 to try and lessen the blow to Dr. Disrespect. I feel like there's just sort of like we're in this era of the right in the same breath as accusing all gay people of being groomers and pedophiles will defend a confirmed open pedophile, not like denying that he did anything, but by defending the pedophilic act in question, because there's no denying it was done. Like, they will do it in the same breath now. Like in the same YouTube video, in the same breath, in the same sentence. What's up, Lemon? How you doing? It's been a while. Good to see you.
Presented more than 250 Jeffrey Epstein victims.
I wouldn't want to be the state attorney's office.
He argues this testimony of raping a 17-year-old girl within these documents should have created more severe charges.
But these are people who now have to live with a life of embarrassment for carrying water for Jeffrey Epstein.
Back then,
you have to remember, by the way, when these allegations came out against Trump and Epstein, the Epstein charges, like, Epstein was not unanimously known as, like, the pedophile guy. Right now, like, when you hear the word pedophile, it's hard not to have, like, that famous image of Jeffrey Epstein's mugshot not flash in your head. Like, it's like that one test where it's like, tell me what the first thing that comes to mind when I say a word. And, like, the person says pedophile. Oh, that one Jeffrey Epstein mugshot photo. That's what comes up, right? Before then is what, like, well before then is when these allegations came out. So people didn't remember that Trump was also implicated. Now we know, looking back at the stuff, knowing it's fucking Epstein who is accused of doing this, we know pretty much beyond a shadow of a doubt that these aren't made up allegations, especially going back to like fucking 2006. And the fact that they also implicate Trump and are yet another multi-allegation of pedophilic rape against Trump and Epstein that well predates Trump's presidential run and predates Epstein being fully outed as a pedophile and as a sex abuser. I think, in my opinion, I've seen everything I need to see to make a solid judgment.
and Epstein just pled guilty to 2 prostitution charges. He served 13 months in jail before receiving a work release. In a statement, State Attorney for Palm Beach County, David Ehrenberg, says, "Today is my first time seeing these documents," saying it never possessed them or had access to them. He also said this case occurred before he took office. Worth noting, 2 members of the state attorney's office brought the evidence to the grand jury.
I'd hear it.
Those attorneys accuse a 16-year-old girl of lying about her $250,000 income and age on her mother.
This is why, for so long, and still to this day, women don't often go to the police about rape or sexual assault or sexual abuse. So much of it goes unreported because this is the biggest fear that so many victims have, that they have to be victimized by a sexual predator and then face that sexual predator in a court that is going to take that sexual predator's story as seriously as yours. And God help you if they side with your abuser. God help you. you know, when the court sides with your abuser. So that's why, for a very long time, there have been many, 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 many examples. I mean, it's just the known statistical thing of most rapes go unreported. You know, and this Epstein case that happened back in 2006, these like logs of what happened in the courtroom are a good example. These were 16-year-old girls who accused Epstein of pedophilia and rape, and they treated them like this.
MySpace page. The prosecutor also asked if she was aware she was committing a crime by taking money for sexual favors.
That sets a real tone for and shows.
They asked the 16-year-old girl if she knew she was committing a crime when she took money from the grown men who raped her for the rape. That is why so many rapes go unreported, guys. There you go. There you go. If you've ever wondered that, if you ever were like, why is that a thing? There you go.
What the state attorney's office was really trying to get across.
The jury would ask victims similar questions, asking if they knew they were...
Mind you, these are the prosecutors. These are the people who are supposed to be on the side of the victim against the criminal, you know? That is, like, those are the people that are supposed to be on, like, your side as the victim in the courtroom. And they're, like, accusing you of crimes. Like, it's not fun.
Committing a crime, or if they were aware what they were doing to their reputation. In one instance, a juror asked a victim why she didn't ask Epstein.
Of course. One of the jurors asked, "Are you aware of what your allegations will do to these men's reputations?" Of course. Of course. Like I said, it's even more exacerbated when it's rich, at the time beloved white men, you know?
Epstein to stop having sex with her.
It was designed
at the time
to get a certain result, and a certain result was achieved. Why they did that, I have no idea.
The grand jury testimony ended with the chief investigator for the state attorney's office going through various police reports about the victims involving alcohol, drugs, and missing person reports.
Pages and pages of sealed documents.
Like, it goes into Trump stuff too, though, but I haven't seen a lot of coverage of that. Midas Touch. Is Midas Touch?
And they got away with it again. In breaking news,
you guys send me this channel a lot. Do they cover stuff well?
the Supreme Court has released a statement that after 8 months of investigation, they are shockingly unable to identify who leaked the draft Dobbs decision, right? I have a feeling if it was a Republican and it was benefiting the pro-life movement, they'd have found the person in about 3 seconds, okay? If you're really serious about identifying the leaker, you don't turn the investigation over to the Supreme Court marshal who has no actual experience or expertise in...
I think this is an unrelated topic to that, though, I'm pretty sure. No, dude, it's... There's some disturbing shit that came out in that release of documents. According to the reports... Oh, sorry. Trump's name appears over and over again on Jeffrey Epstein's message logs in the grand jury docs released this week. It is also undisputed. Trump's name appears 7 times on Epstein's private jet flight logs, that Epstein flew on Trump's jet with a young girl of indeterminate age, girls who Epstein trafficked, worked at Mar-a-Lago, a girl Epstein trafficked mentioned visiting Trump's casino in a recently released deposition transcript, and Trump said that Epstein is a great guy who likes girls on the younger side. Who remembers that quote, by the way? That's a public, on-video quote of Trump saying that he and Epstein get along real well because they both like girls on the younger side. Trump frequently, quote, partied with Epstein. Trump wished Ghislaine Maxwell well at her criminal trial, and someone who testified under the pseudonym Jane Doe at the Ghislaine Maxwell criminal trial stated that she was introduced to Trump by Epstein when she was 14 years old, a user posted on X. As the I hate that I called it X. As the transcripts went viral on Twitter, a community note claimed Donald Trump and Epstein talked about a piece of real estate in which they were both interested. Citing a report of the Washington Post, it said they fell out over the issue. So here are the logs in question. Important message. Is this the logs, I'm guessing? Donald Trump. Wondering if you want her to work tomorrow and what time. He has the info. Please call him. Please call her back. Returning your, please. I don't know if, I mean, if this is the flight logs, then oof. That's pretty sealed, I think. That's pretty set in stone at that point. Ugh. Dude, Donald Trump and Epstein being buddies. I don't know how the right has continued to get away with pushing this narrative that, like, Biden is creepy or Biden is a pedophile, because they did that for a long time. Like random clips where they like take a screenshot of Biden leaning over and it looked like he's smelling someone's hair. Meanwhile, this image exists, and like countless others of Trump hanging out with Epstein. There's the clip. Oh fuck. Can I find the clip? Trump complimenting Epstein. Oh, here's one of their parties together back in the day. Young Donald Trump is interesting. Younger Donald Trump. He's just always looked like a goober, hasn't he? Just two pedophiles hanging out in their opulent mansion together. His eyebrows look weird. He's always looked weird. I don't think Trump has ever... Like... It's very clear. 1992, eh? Yeah, around the time when these crimes were committed. Nope. Where's the clip about Trump Where's the clip of Trump complimenting Epstein, though, on his taste in women? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, paywalled. Don't paywall me, website. Fact check. Did Donald Trump say that Jeffrey Epstein was a terrific guy? True. Donald Trump was quoted calling Epstein a terrific guy for New York Times Magazine profile in 2002. Trump said he was a lot of fun to be with and shared an interest in, quote, beautiful women. Trump has since said that he was, quote, not a fan of his. Isn't that interesting that Trump has changed his tune and claims they were never buddies? Interesting. I'm sure that doesn't mean anything, right, guys? I'm sure that doesn't mean anything. Surely. Surely it doesn't mean anything. And then we've got the most recent document batch that came out. Here, let me pull this up. So Donald Trump was, in your mind, you believe, a witness to the sexual abuse of minors. This is a question. Miss Macaulay asks, let her finish. Objection. That mischaracterizes testimony. The witness, thank you. Special master, you can answer. I don't know what court position that is. Maybe, I don't... Miss Macaulay, says, you can answer. A, I don't think Donald Trump participated in anything. That would be another assumption. I never saw or witnessed Trump participate in those acts, but he was in the house of Jeffrey Epstein. I've heard he has been, but I haven't seen him myself, so I don't know. Trump's name was also mentioned in passing later in the deposition when he was described as one of Epstein's famous friends. Giuffre testified that he had been recruited into Epstein's sex trafficking, or she had been recruited into Epstein's sex trafficking ring by Maxwell, who approached her in 2000 when Giuffre was a 17-year-old spa attendant at Mar-a-Lago. Trump's Florida resort comes up more than a dozen times in the newly released depositions, as Epstein and Maxwell are questioned about how they met Giuffre. Giuffre? But it's a really weird way to spell Jeffrey. But Giuffre has said she had no relationship with Trump beyond his being her employer. So far, outside of the allegations I've talked about that came out previously, I don't think there's any logs that say that Trump did anything explicitly. Control F Trump and you'll find the quote here. Is this it? Epstein likes to tell people that he's a loner, a man who's never touched alcohol or drugs, and one whose nightlife is far from energetic. And yet, if you talk to Donald Trump, a different Epstein emerges. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. Trump booms from a speakerphone. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it. Jeffrey enjoys his social life. That's what Trump had to say about him. That's the quote. Yeah. Yeah. There it is. That's the quote. Yeah. Yeah. Oof. Dude, the fact that multiple of the women that, like, Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking came from Mar-a-Lago is crazy. Like, that right there is a part of the story that needs to be talked about so much more. Holy shit. Anyway, if somehow you enjoyed this segment, despite the grim, to say the least, subject matter, then consider dropping a like. It really does help a lot, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Comment, subscribe, ring the bell icon no matter when, where, what you're watching. It pushes my content out in the algorithm, and it really does mean a lot to me, so thank you. And of course, consider following my social medias linked down below in the description. It really does help. You can see me on other platforms, and make sure to follow my fan Discord in the description as well. It's the main hub of my community. It's totally free to join, and we're even doing a watch party of Avatar: The Last Airbender in my Discord server after stream tonight. I've never seen the show before, so we're going to be getting into Season 2 and continuing on with my blind watch through, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Whether you're watching it for the first time or like your 500th, then I hope to see you there. Regardless, if you also want to support me financially directly, consider doing so by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below. Your financial support really does go a long way, and it means a lot, so thank you to everybody who does it. But thank you to you, even if you're just lurking around. It really means a lot. It really helps. I appreciate it. Have a good one.